Hello guys. So I am Gian, of course. This is my first video on YouTube. I wanted it to be something juicy, so I'm gonna do a story time. And this story time is about the first time, no, not the first time because it only happened one time. This is the time I caught caught a girl in my ex's room. That by itself is just ridiculous. Okay, so I'm gonna switch the people names up in the story, of course, because me and the person still cordial. We still follow each other on social media, so there's no beef or nothing like that. We still cool. So I'm not gonna say the person's name. It happened so long ago, so it's not even nothing that's recent. So whatever. But yeah, I can laugh about it now because it's funny. But at the time, I was devastated. Okay, so it happened in like May. I was just I was just finishing finals in college. I think I was like 20 or something like that. So, and I'm 25 now. So, yeah, so I was studying in the library and he kept accusing me of talking to other people, which I wasn't. I was so faithful. Everybody that knew me in college knew that I was like not about to talk to nobody because I had a boyfriend. So I was in the library studying this finals week and he's like, why are you not answering my calls? And I'm like, I'm studying this finals week, you know that, so just chill. So also that's red flag number one. Ladies, don't deal with that. Anyways, so yeah. So he was like constantly blowing my phone up and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm in the library. Like I'm whispering, talking to him. He's thinking I'm sneaking. And I'm just like, I'm in the library. It's college. Like, what's going on? So he kept accusing me of that. So when I finally finished finals week, I went home. And he invited me to his cousin's wedding, which I was cool with his cousin too. So I went to the wedding and I met his best friend's girlfriend. So me and her kind of like, you know, like started talking and stuff like that. Like, you know, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. So we were talking at the wedding and our boyfriends at the time were like on the dance floor, like, you know, engaging with their family because that is their family event. So we were at the reception at this point. So they were at the reception and me and her talking. We exchanged numbers because we was just like, you know, we might as well be cool. She was younger than me, so it was kind of like a cute little sister moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So we exchanged numbers. And the next day, my boyfriend at the time was supposed to help my sister move from one apartment to another. So when I woke up the next day, I called him like, hey, like we're about to start moving. So you can, you know, are you going to come help? And he was just like, well, I'm kind of still hungover from last night. And I understood that because I was with him when he was drinking. So I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just hit you up whenever I finish. So he's like, okay, cool. So we was moving furniture and stuff like that, whatever. Around 4 p.m., I hit him up, or he hit me up and was like, yeah, I'm about to go to my friend's house. We're about to go play the game, this and that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, when I come down there, I'll just call you. He was like, okay, cool. We'll link up, whatever. He'll come get me. I didn't have a car at the time. So he was like, I'll just come get you whenever you get down here. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, when your boyfriend said he about to come get you, you be bucked up like the whole rest of the day, like, yeah. Okay, so we moved everything. We were done like around 8. Got to the area that we lived in, and we didn't live that far away from each other. I got to the area that we lived in, and I called, and he didn't answer. So I'm just like, okay, like maybe he's asleep, he's busy, whatever, like, you know, whatever. Then I text, no response. So like an hour, maybe an hour and a half went by. So I'm like, something ain't right. So I'm calling his phone, and every time I call, it will ring and go to the 9th second and then hang up. Like, you know how sometimes if somebody's phone is off, you will call and it will go straight to voicemail or whatever the case is. But it would ring. Then once it got to the 9th second, it would go to voicemail. So I'm like, this is like, is he ignoring my call every second at 9? I mean, like every 9th second, like that's weird. So I Googled it. You know, we do our investigative things, us women. So I Googled it, like, what does it mean when your phone rings and goes to the 9th second and then goes to voicemail? It was like, that means the phone's on airplane mode. So I'm like, he's not flying. He's not flying right now. I know he's not flying. So why is his phone on airplane mode? Like, why would you do that? Did he make a mistake and do it? Like, you know, all kind of stuff run through your head. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So then I hit up his best friend's girlfriend, because him and his best friend were actually living together at the time. Or his best friend moved in with his family or whatever. So he, so I called his best friend's girlfriend. I'm just like, hey girl, like, what's up? What you doing? How you doing? Blah, blah. I was like, have you heard from such and such? And she was like, yeah, like, I'm on the phone with, my boyfriend. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, well, what they doing? And she was like, they chilling. They at the house. And I was like, oh, I'm going to call him Derek. I'm going to call him Derek, because that's not his name. But I'm going to call him that because I don't want to say his real name. So I was calling Derek, and he's not answering the phone or whatever. So I was like, I figured that he was either asleep or busy. And she was like, no, like, let me ask, hold on. So she's texting her boyfriend while me and her are on the phone. Shout out to her, okay? So we were texting. We were on the phone and they were texting. So I was like, ask him if, like, don't say it like we're trying to see what he's doing. Like, we gotta, like, think of another way. So she was like, okay, I got it. So she asked her boyfriend to ask my boyfriend if he can come pick her up, because he was the one that had the car. Like, his best friend was younger. So she was like, ask Derek if he could come pick me up. Like, I want to come see you. So he was like, well, he's laid up right now. He texted that back to her. He's laid up right now. So she was like, and they didn't know we exchanged numbers. We knew, but they didn't know we exchanged numbers. They didn't know none of this. So, and we wasn't even exchanging numbers for a situation like this. Who would have thought that this would have happened the very next day? Like, we was really exchanging numbers because we became cool at the wedding or the reception. So I was like, she was like, gee, he said he laid up right now. So I'm like, laid up? I don't even know what that means. Like, laid up? Like, is he asleep? Like, I don't, like, okay, so laying down is when you laying down. Like, laying up, how do you lay up? So I was like, I don't know what that means. She was like, I think it means like he's with a girl. So my heart's racing. I'm just like, no, that's crazy. Woo. So I was like, I think I said, ask him. I was like, say something about me. Like, say, oh, with G or something like that. So she texted me and was like, oh, with his girlfriend. And he texts back like, yeah. Like, I guess trying to, like, make it seem like, he didn't want to tell on his boy because he didn't know what was going on. So he was like, yeah, with his girl. But he didn't know that we was talking, so it wasn't me. So she was like, yeah, he's here with his girl. So I'm just like, he's not, I'm here. So I know it's not me. I'm not stupid. So I was like, I'm about to call you right back, girl. She was like, don't tell on me. This is not about you, okay? I am sorry. Hold your horses, okay? I'm upset. So I got off the phone with her. I ran on my mom's and was like, Mom, he is cheating on me. There is a girl at his house right now. Oh my God, I was devastated. I was crying. And my mom was just like, put your shoes on. We going to see. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go over there. And she's like, you got to find out for yourself. Because she kind of figured, like parents just know sometimes. So she was like, you have to figure out for yourself, like, we going. So I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I didn't like confrontation at the time, so I'm just like, whatever. So I put my shoes on. I'm crying on the way there. We only live like maybe 7 minutes from the dude. So I don't even know why he would do something so stupid, but whatever. So we drove over there, so I'm crying like, Ma, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I just feel like, I just feel so stupid. So she's not hearing me. She's like, girl, I had 2 daughters before you. I know how this works. Let's go. I'm like, all right. So we get there. I knock on the door. The best friend comes downstairs and he's like, what's up? So I'm like, hey, is Derek here? And he was like, no, he just left. He just left. And I was just like, but his car is right there. And he was like, no, he hopped in the car with somebody and left. And I'm like, who did he leave with? And he was just like, I don't know. I was like, well, I was calling his phone, and every time I called, it would ring, go to the 9th second, and then go to voicemail. So can you just, and at this point, I kind of had to clear up my cry. Like, I didn't want to look like I was crying. So I was like, every time I call, it goes to the 9th second, and then it goes to voicemail. I was like, can you try calling for me? So he called, and it did the same thing. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's his phone. And he was like, yeah, he ain't here. So I'm just like, okay. Like a dummy, like, all right. So I go back to the car. My mama looked at me and was like, if you don't get out and go back to that door, if you know she's up there, his light is on in his room. Like, go back to the door. Like, don't be stupid. So I'm just like, I did not want to do this. So I went to the door again. But at this point, they probably thought I pulled off because he waited until I got in the car, and he closed the door. He went upstairs probably. So he wasn't even thinking that I was about to come knock back on the door. So I go back, knock on the door again. And this time his dad opens the door. His dad has no clue what's going on. His dad does not know that the girl is upstairs. His dad does not know that me and him are beefing right now. So he lets me in like normal. Like, hey, G, come on in. Like, what's up? I was like, hey. So I walk in and he's coming downstairs. And I was like, I thought you were gone. And he was like, I was. And I'm like, let's not do this because that's not what we're going to do. So he was like trying to put his arm around me and like walk me outside. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? Are we dancing? Like, he was like, no, we about to go meet such and such and such and such. His friend that he said he was about to go by. We about to go take a ride or something like that. So I'm just like, where y'all going? And he was like, oh, we just about to go ride somewhere. And I'm just like, okay. So he walked me to the door. I'm standing outside. He's standing in the doorway with his arm like on the door, like kind of trying to block it. So I'm like, I know she's in there. And he was like, what you talking about? And I know he was nervous because I was nervous. And it wasn't even me doing it. So I was like, I know she's in there. And he was like, what you talking about? And I was like, I'm not stupid. I know she's upstairs. And he was like, you tripping. I don't know what you're talking about. So I tried to go under his arm and get inside because I wanted to see for myself. You know, sometimes you just need to see, like, you know what's going on, but you just need to see for yourself. That's what it was. So he, like, grabbed me or whatever to try to stop me from going in. And we had, like, a little physical. It wasn't nothing major. It really wasn't, I promise. It was, like, a pick you up kind of thing. And it was just, like, a no, like, let me down kind of thing. It wasn't no physical violence or anything like that. So I was like, let me down. Eventually, he let me down, and I walked upstairs, and as I'm walking upstairs, his best friends are, like, peeping out the side door, like, oh, my God, she's up here. So I got up there, and I opened the door, and the girl is just sitting on the bed, just chilling, like, this is her house. And I was just like, I said, how you doing? And she was like, hey. And I was like, I just need a confirmation, that's all. And I closed the door, and I walked out. Everybody was like, why you didn't beat her up? And I'm like, I don't know. She was like 15. I don't even know. She was really young. And that's weird, but whatever. So I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not about to just fight like this. For what? Like, okay, have them, girl. Like, it's over. So, yeah. So I saw her. I did that. I walked back downstairs, and he was standing at the end of the stairs like, I'm caught. I don't know what to do. And I was like, he said something. And then, well, no, I'm not going to. Okay, yeah. So that was it pretty much. And then after that, I was devastated. I was crying. I was crying real tears. And yeah, that was, oh my God. I think we had like a shove match. And he pushed me when I was coming down the stairs. My wig flew off. Jesus. Yeah, that was bad. No, that was real bad. I don't know if you remember that or not, that part. I remember it though. My wig went flying across the room, so I had to go get it. And then I left out crying, like, oh my God. That was the stupidest thing ever. Oh my God. So, that's a story time about how I caught a girl in my ex's room. That is crazy. But it's funny now. It's really funny now. So, I guess I had to experience that or something, but it's whatever. So, yeah. Y'all let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, like, going forward and things like that, just so I can have an idea. And we'll keep this train rolling. Deuces.